Welcome to SBS News in Easy English. I'm Sofia Petrovic. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison says Australia will change the way it deals with the coronavirus pandemic. He says the plan will change from suppression of the virus to preventing serious illness. He says this will be done in 4 phases. Australia is currently in the first phase. The main goal now is vaccination against COVID-19.
So when it is like the flu, we should treat it like the flu. And that means no lockdowns. This is the measures may include to be finalised. No lockdowns. The vaccine booster program underway, exempting vaccinated residents from all domestic restrictions, abolishing caps on returning vaccinated travellers, allowing further increased capped entry of student, economic and humanitarian visa holders, lifting all restrictions on outbound travel for vaccinated persons and extending the travel bubble for unrestricted travel to new candidate countries.
There will also be a reduction on the number of people that can enter Australia from overseas. International flights will be halved. Mr. Morrison says the federal government will provide flights to replace cancelled commercial flights. Australian residents coming home will quarantine in the Northern Territory at the Howard Springs Quarantine Centre. New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian says she expects the number of COVID-19 infections to increase over the weekend before it starts to fall from Monday. She says it will take time for the lockdown rules to be effective. 31 new cases have been recorded in the state. 13 of those were in the community whilst infectious. Ms. Berejiklian urged people to take the stay-at-home orders seriously.
Stay at home means stay at home. Don't leave the house unless you absolutely have to.
Queensland has recorded 3 new local cases of COVID-19. Queensland's Chief Health Officer, Dr. Jeanette Young, says there are many more exposure cases in the state.
There's a lot of venues there that we're now going to have to go and contact trace. I also need to know whether they're linked to any of our current Delta outbreaks, because of course that's more contagious, or whether to our Alpha outbreak related to the Portuguese Centre. I don't know that yet.
Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk says the lockdown will continue for another 24 hours for the Brisbane and Moreton local government areas. There has been 1 new local case in South Australia. Premier Stephen Marshall says the current restrictions in the state will remain in place. Turkey has officially withdrawn from an international treaty to prevent violence against women. The 2011 Istanbul Convention requires governments to legally stop crimes including marital rape and female genital mutilation. Yasmin Eti joined many around the country to protest. She says she will continue to demand women's rights be protected.
I feel like it would be even better if women felt safe in this country. And I feel like right now, withdrawing from this convention is just it's a way of saying, we don't care what happens to you. We don't care if you experience violence. There's nothing to protect you from now on. So this personally affects me as well.
An advocacy group says 300 women were murdered in Turkey last year. 189 have been killed this year. You're listening to SBS News in Easy English. I'm Sofia Petrovic.